ton. And with that, the bans flew right on through. Orianna Thresh and Xerath from the CompLexity white side. Curse Academy taking away the Syndra, Gnar, and Lucian. And with that, Westrush just snags Rumble.
This is deja vu,
straight
man.
up.
These are pretty much identical to
minute.
the first picks that we saw last game. Just swap
Try
sides.
and try again. Why not?
Well, we've seen West Rice's Rumble. It's been fantastic. I think besides Aurelia, Rumble is probably one of his best champions up in that top lane. Just last game, even if he had an okay equalizer, his team just had no follow-up. They just couldn't do anything to be able to supplement the engage or the disengage in those fights. So try and build a better comp around it this time. They're going to go with the Lee Sin again. So right now it looks like they're not planning on changing much up. Maybe they'll have better luck on blue side, or maybe they'll go with a different AD carry. Or
Okay, different support.
Okay,
Take the Janna, a much more prioritized support instead of the Nami. And low pally can play it to a great effect as well. Corki Jarvan, again, this is the repeat picks for them. They could go for the Zed again if they want to for Keen, and Cop may just play the Ezreal and show Maybe Baby how it's done. He could go back to Corki. He had a great showing on it as well, but if he wants to teach Impactful how to play it,
well,
this would be a time to do it.
I think Keen, I wouldn't put it past him to actually play a mid lane Ezreal. And Curse, it's probably not going to happen,
I don't think
but
so.
I wouldn't put it past him. And if you think way back to
Oh wait, what am I talking about? Mid lane Ezreal?
the beginning of 2014 was when I think was when the double AD comp started to come around, and Curse Academy was one of the first teams to sort of play that in competitive matches. And Ezreal mid was a big thing back then. They didn't have Keen as a mid laner, but still, it's a thing. It's a thing that they do.
It is a thing indeed that can be done. And I like the Morgana pick, synergizes as well with the Corki that would be in the bot lane. Just throw on that black shield and can't be Howling Gale, you can't be slowed by Zephyr, you can't be knocked back by the Monsoon, so you're good to go. Just Valkyrie straight on into these fights. And then Kassadin, again, most likely going to go over to Hansu there in that top lane. He wants revenge for that first blood, try to dive in with the Rift Walk and met the equalizing face of West Rice. So a good response to Morgana is Graves. You know, you buckshot and collateral damage go straight on through the Black Shield, or physical damage. So we're going to see that picked up, as well as Golden Glue now. Gonna try to show a Keen-like performance.
Graves is by far my favorite AD carry. He's one of my most played champions, and I think that he's very underrated as far as competitive play goes. He's starting to pick up some steam right now. Granted, on live it's the 4.20 patch, but still, he wasn't changed that much. The game was sort of moved around a lot, but I still think he's really strong right now, especially against those mid-game AD carries, and especially against Morgana, you said, because they have the ability to sort of all in at level 6, because Graves' burst damage, especially since collateral damage was actually buffed just a tiny bit a few months ago, and the Janna shield, they have the ability to really burst out of Morgana.
Mid-Hecarim for Keen?
There it is.
Yes, it is.
There it is.
Oh, this is the pocket pick. I love this pickup.
Yeah.
And to bring it against a Zed, we were actually talking about this, I believe, a day or two ago.
Yeah.
And we're like, you know, if he goes up against a melee mid, bring out the Hecarim.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Great response. He's got the ability to charge on in, initiate fights with the ultimate. He's got some sustain in the W, and he's got a good AoE clear as well.
Yeah, and that's something that he brought out in game number 5
against
in the promotion
CLG.
matches, in the promotion relegation matches against COG. They did fall, but I believe he started that game like 4-0 or 4-1.
Yep.
So it was a pretty ridiculous start from him, and he was one of the shining points of that game, despite Curse Academy losing, and of course, obviously not making their spot in the LCS. But Keen has had that Hecarim as a pocket pick, not afraid to break it out, and it's a really great counter pick for Zed.
All right, so tell us what you guys think about that Hecarim pick against Zed. How do you think it's going to do? Who do you think is going to win? Will CompLexity White bring it to a game 3, or will they fall on their face? This is going to be at LOL Esports, hashtag LCS expansion, and we're going to get into the Rift as soon as possible, and we're going to see if this Hecarim can snowball. This is going to be interesting, especially with the pickup of the Hanser Kassadin again.
Yeah.
They synergize pretty well. They can close a lot of distance. They can assassinate people pretty well, and it looks like we're going to go into the game. This is potentially the final game of the day, and potentially Curse Academy making their way towards that LAN final.
Yeah, CompLexity sort of double dipping in those teams, taking one team from the ladder, one team for their automatic seed. And it's possible after this game, they might not have a single team even moving on to the live portion, that double elimination stage that's happening here at the ESL Burbank Studios. And Curse Academy, they are looking incredibly strong. I think they were definitely one of a lot of fan favorites coming into this whole tournament. So, and looks like they're living up to their name right now.
Living up to the hype. Gotta believe
Living
it.
up to the hype.
Indeed, and it might be an early lane swap coming in here. Kez has got to be careful. Binding comes out, doesn't connect, and that would have probably forced out a flash, if anything, and got some good damage on him and forced him back, but it's okay. They're going to get some pressure out, and they're going to move forward. They want to get a ward onto this blue buff here, as Bunny Fufu just keeps on running forward.
Yeah, Bunny Fufu, one of the few supports remaining in the Challenger Series that is not afraid to break out the Morgana.
Look at him. He's spotting out the... this is a ward that they've done way back when lane swaps were first coming around.
Yeah.
People were like, all right, you know what? We're going to ward in the lane all the way back past the tier 2 and try to spot out if they're doing a lane swap of their own. So they're going to look for that. And Westrice, he took a bunch of damage earlier on. I don't know who he dueled or what he did, but he might be in trouble in this lane if they walk up.
Maybe going for the next level strat of getting a couple auto attacks on the turret before the wave spawn.
That's possible, I guess.
Take any advantage that you can get, Egad.
I mean, you're not going to get much done just walking and getting 20 damage on that tier 1.
It doesn't matter how small. Watch, they're going to lose this game, and one turret shot is going to be what's going to lose them. And then you're going to come back and say, well, why didn't Westrice get more damage onto the top lane turret before the wave spawn?
And it looks like Hans is going to be soaking up some of this blue XP. Maybe Baby is going to actually hold the lane here, and that's going to be really helpful for him. He gathers them up. He's going to be able to keep the lane push forward and just try to capitalize as much as possible on pushing this tier 1.
Oh!
Meanwhile, Cop spots out Westrice.
Hello!
Hits him with the phosphorus bomb. Thought something was fishy, and the binding comes out, forcing the flash away, and Westrice now in a very, very dangerous spot.
That is a smart plan sometimes, but as soon as the enemy team realizes that, hey, it's a lane swap, we should probably check that bush. Ever since, was it Ackerman did it in the LCS when they were playing against Dignitas, he sat in that bush for like 6 minutes, got to like level 4 before they even wanted to check it. And so teams now have made sure that they check that bush when they do a lane swap.
Yep, and it looks like a swap in the jungles as well, as they just trade blue and red from Saint and Kez. And now at the level 3, good look to see if the ganks come on out.
Oh.
Westrice gets hit by binding. He's going to take a little bit of poke at that. And he started Ruby Crystal and 2 potions, and now he's out of potions. So he's going to have to be very, very mindful of that.
He's trying to be a little crafty to try and get in here and get some of the experience from the CS, but it's going to be tough for him. Rumble is
Look
not...
at these. 2 for 3, excuse me, coming out from Bunny Fufu right now. Keeping a good percentage of those bindings connecting.
Yeah.
We'll see if he can continue that through the game, as they're
not
gank.
even spotted on that ward.
Oh, Saint's going to be spotted, but Haunter wasn't.
Yeah.
This dive is going to be so dangerous, and Lolpal is up here too. Level 1 still, 300 health left on this guy. And Kez, he might be caught out here. They're going to see them doing the white. Kez, what are you going to do here? Sonic Wave? Not going to Resonating Strike his way through. He does, actually. He's going to get popped in the face for that, so he's got to be careful. Joining the fight is Westrice, though. Doesn't have the harpoon. Took the Junk Shield instead. Binding connect over the wall. They're going to go straight for Westrice in first blood. The Tormented Soil from Bunny Fufu. Gonna pick that up.
Westrice is a bind magnet so far in this laning phase. He's dodging back into the binds.
3 for 4, man. I'm going to keep track of this game.
Yeah, okay, the whole game.
Not the whole game.
Do it.
If we miss anything on the camera, it's not my fault. But
yeah, we're keeping track of the bindings because that's more important.
But it's a pretty good showing from Bunny Fufu so far, bringing out that Morgana to counteract the Janna, and even just 2v1ing, man. It's worked out phenomenally for them so far.
You can really see Curse Academy.
There's no one bots, you know. It's just maybe farming by himself. He's level 4.
Curse Academy seems a little bit more seasoned with this lane swap. CompLexity White's just sort of going with the motions here, playing reactively to what Curse Academy's doing.
Sonic Wave? They're not going to dive that. No way. Okay.
Yeah.
So Comp is by himself. He's got to be asking for a little bit of help here. And we'll see, but he'll probably come back in. And this mid lane has been very quiet. Keen, he's found a minor advantage over Goldblue.
Yeah, and that's sort of the thing. It's just so hard for Zed to be able to stay in early on because King can just sit in his face. Cloth Armor is the build that he usually goes for. It's really just a specific counter pick that he likes to play against melee assassins, specifically Zed. And he builds the Cloth Armor. He just gets in your face in the laning phase and CSs while at the same time gets in some harass when he can. And since he pushes the lane so fast, it's just, you can't really do anything. You're just forced to try and wait by your turret, CS, and try and pick up as much as you can. But at the same time, Keen's just 40 CS right now, most in the game, doing a fantastic job right now.
And maybe he's been left alone. He's level 5, and man, he is enjoying this alone time. It's like a little sweet little vacation for him.
Yeah.
Just gets all his farm he can want. He can't even be touched by Haunter right now, and it's gonna be something to worry about.
80 carries love lane swaps. Top laners Hate lane swaps.
Junglers, they kind of like lane swaps as well because they can facilitate those dives.
Yep.
But we haven't really seen any of them just yet. And now Bunny Fufu, he's getting those deeper wards. He's got the earlier sight stone too. So he drops a pink ward.
This is so much vision that Curse Academy has over on this red side jungle here. Kez, they have nothing. He doesn't even know. He puts a ward down the tri-bush, but he's afraid to do anything. Goes ahead and uses the sweeper, but there's still so many wards coming down here from Bunny Fufu and from Saint Vicious. They have full control over this red side.
Yep, so Kez really, he's going to get spotted out every time, and I'm surprised we haven't seen any of the early dragons being contested just yet. I mean, they have full control of that bottom side of the map, so why not try to go for it with Saint? But I guess they're going to stick to that nice and safe play.
Yeah, still a little bit risky. It's early on, and when you go for the lane swap like this, you're setting your jungler usually and your top laner a little bit further behind than they'd normally be. So if you, it can be a little bit risky sometimes to go for that early dragon, especially if you don't have tabs on at least a couple members of the enemy team, which they didn't right there. And their window has kind of closed for that. But I can imagine once they regain vision and they can set it up a little bit better, Curse Academy will probably have good control over it.
And there's a ward dropped in there. Keen, he picks up the early home guard and ninja tabby.
Yeah.
So trying to get as much movement speed as possible earlier on to capitalize on the passive there and get some more damage.
This is standard play. This is almost identical to the match that the only competitive match that we've seen Keen play Hecarim on. Pretty much rushes the home guard, Crystalline Flask, and basically he just pushes the wave and then runs back in. And runs back to the lane, starts to grab up that CS. So pretty creative build, an interesting build coming out from Keen, and it's really a great reaction to a Zed pick that sometimes you have to leave on the table.
And I'm surprised that Tormented Soil didn't stop the back, but it was the last half second.
There he goes!
Look at that. He can get back to lane so fast. Talk about efficiency.
Yeah.
That is actually really cool.
Watch him. He will literally clear wave and then go back.
Look at that damage. They forced the flash as well, bring him down to 200 health.
The Sheen rush from Cop, both games, he's actually just put out a lot of damage. Mabry Baby is staying in there, though. He's actually got a little bit of a CS lead because of the action that was happening up top that distracted Cop for a little bit. Did pick up the assist, so pretty much even across the board. But right now, it's such a slow game. I mean, you see basically the goal difference is the CS in the mid lane and then the one kill that they've picked up for themselves. And that's exactly how Curse Academy is going to want to play this because, again, big power spike in the mid game. They have such great initiation and great follow-up. And we saw Cobb last game on Corki just go off. And I can imagine it's going to be sort of a similar story this game.
I wouldn't be surprised, but he's got to worry about maybe. You know, he's got the BF sword already. He's going to be looking for that early Infinity's Edge. As unfortunately, you know, Bloodthirster doesn't stack up anymore. You get the shield from it. I like the old Bloodthirster, but this new Bloodthirster has found its way into my heart.
Yeah. It's a better last item than the first item.
Yeah. Doesn't give you as much of an early game advantage as you would see normally in Misfortunes and the Grace pickup.
Yep. Going to give Keen over the blue buff, so he's going to be able to spam those Qs a little bit more. Going to be even tougher for Zed to deal with.
Look at that.
Wow.
Oh, man. So just pretty much a showing of last time as well. And Westeros is the early level 6 too, so just going to keep bullying out Haunter and keep him back with that Flame Splitter.
Yeah. Keen is just putting on a CS clinic right now. He's close to perfect here. I don't think he's exactly perfect, but 88 CS. He's going to be able to get that last wave and be very close to 100 CS at 10 minutes, which is sort of that benchmark, that ideal benchmark that you want. And he's been able to deny a little bit of CS from Golden Glue as well, just because of the nature of that matchup and him being able to bully out in the early levels.
Oh! Black Shield on top of him. They're going to go straight into low pellet. They know he has no flash. This should be a guaranteed kill for him, but Cop gets exhausted. Saint's going to chase this one down. They try to give it to Cop. Binding connects on the end as well. Maybe Baby going to get targeted down. Phosphorus Bomb doesn't connect. They're not going to go for the dive, and Saint with a flash stays alive. Yeah,
and that's just sort of Complexity White getting a little bit complacent there and not sort of keeping track of Saint Vicious and maybe realizing that he's probably down on that bot side. They're reacting well with this mid lane push, but Keen is positioning aggressively here. Will he go in?
I wouldn't recommend using that
Yeah,
ultimate.
that's probably a bad idea.
Yeah, he'd be meant by a Death Bark, Equalizer, and probably just get kicked in the face.
He could have ultimated and clear the wave and then just push everybody off.
He would have been dove. He would have died. Super easy.
And then just run back and home guard back into the fight. Just keep resetting over and over again.
Yeah, because he just spawns instantaneously.
Yeah.
After being killed from them taking the tier 1, but he's still farming up 100 CS at 10 minutes. Gonna see if he can keep that perfect amount coming in. 10 CS a minute, looking pretty good.
That's a great reaction by CompLexity White there, seeing, hey, we're losing out on a kill down the bottom side. They're probably too low to get the dragon, so we're just going to get an objective.
1,000 movement speed. 1,000 movement speed with home guard gets you straight to the tier 2, and you lose pretty much no time. No time farming at all.
I hope no matter what is happening on the map, every time Hecarim backs and home guard's out of the base,
that's all shady move.
We get to pan over to it.
Just see how fast he can go. It looks like he's picking up the Phage too, so go for that Trinity Force.
Trinity Force
route.
Get even faster.
We're going to see if we can break the limit and go back to the future.
The Summoner's Rift sound barrier here.
So they clear out some wards, they're getting some more control, and this dragon, it's got to go down eventually. I mean, they're trying to position around it. The pink wards have come out, they clear out the pit, and Bunny Fufu, with the help of Saint, have guaranteed full control so far for Curse Academy.
Yeah, the game is still really close, though. CompLexity White was able to pick up that mid lane turret, so the global gold is pretty even. Curse Academy is only 1k gold ahead, and they know that if a Rumble gets good equalizer off, if Golden Glue can get going in this game on that Zed, they could be in some trouble. So since they know that they have the lead, since they know that they have a little bit more control over the game, they don't want to make a super risky play around the Dragon, because giving up the control they have right now is not what you want to do. So they're going to go for the Dragon if they know they can 100% get it.
Wait a minute, he's going to use the ultimate. The binding comes into fear as well. Black Shield's going to keep Keen from getting slow. They get the Cataclysm on top of it, and Keen at Golden Glue did not know where to go.
You got bopped. Another Buddy Fufu running around.
I think that's about 13 for 15.
Yeah.
Trying to keep a mental tally.
Something like that.
Oh, he hit it. Wow, that was just the tip. Low Pally's not going to get focused on just yet. They get the Black Shield, the Keen. They get the Equalizer out from Westrice, trying to zone him through. Bunny Fufu goes in with those chains onto Maybe Baby, trying to keep him out of this fight, but Westrice is just so strong, belting them down with that Equalizer as Halter in the back does pick off one. Maybe Baby is kiting. He's got so much damage coming in from that Pickaxe and BS sword. He picks up one more. Double kill comes in from Halter. He's going to get a triple on it. Maybe Baby, but triple for Halter comes through. They're trading it back and forth, and Kez gets the cleanup kill on Halter. That's going to be an ace for the side of CompLexity White, just barely coming out ahead.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to get vision control over this Dragon area, so that's going to be a great move for CompLexity White to pull themselves back into this game. They're still down a little bit of gold, but that was an insane team fight, and it's just sort of the longevity of the team fight really played in CompLexity White's favor, because as that team fight goes on, Maybe Baby was just able to put a little bit more damage than Cop. They were a little bit limited there on resources. They had a little bit low mana. Keen, Cop, and Hanser all as well. And you can really feel the effects of that Rift Walk nerf, because you can see Hanser really wanted to use that Rift Walk a little bit more, but he was just mana gated so hard and just wasn't able to stick on the targets that he needed to. They ended up trading but Keen looking for engagement.
Looking to go into the low pally, bursts him down with that Sheen, but it's not enough to get the kill, and he gets met by the Ignite, and he has to get back. And they got to be careful. This is the jockeying for positioning that we've seen so far for this Dragon, as this is a really important Dragon for both teams.
Yeah, it's only the first one, too, which is kind of crazy. These teams are just going to brawl back and forth.
So the ultimates are coming back online, too, so...
You got the Equalizer up as well as the head go. Oh, look at him go!
That's like 1,200. Actually, that's 1,100 right now. So once he gets that Zeal and then Trinity Force, we're going to see him going real fast. So this Dragon gets started here by CompLexity White. The charge is ready for Keen if he wants to go on in. Saint Vicious is starting this fight up. He's going to get Death Market just destroyed. Maybe Baby takes him down. Keen coming in with the ultimate, gets kicked back immediately. Animal abuse. Haunts are coming through, takes down Kez. There's a four-man shackle with Bunny Fufu, but he can't get anybody stunned. So he gets bursted down. Maybe Baby on the double, but Haunter and Cop are trying to take him down. They do finally get him, and they're just trading back and forth. This fight is absolutely insane. It's the second time, but reverse ace is going to come out here from Curse Academy and a Dragon.
What a crazy fight. Saint Vicious, that looked to be a really bad initiation, but he drew a lot of focus on himself. And there was a great exhaust on a Maybe Baby right as he unloaded his full burst combination. The collateral damage came out right as the exhaust came down, so it did very, very minimal damage. And Bunny Fufu really splitting up the team with a four-man Soul Shackles, and that sort of created the chaos that they needed to pull that fight together. And now, Cop hasn't even picked up kills, but Haunter
0, 1, and 9.
It seems like he's the one that's doing the majority of the damage in team fights. It's just like Keen runs in and gets that last Q off, or that last Trinity Force buffed auto attack off as the team fight's ending, and picks up that kill. But still, Keen and Haunter are two players that you'd want to have that gold as well. They have a lot of carry potential from both their solo laners as well as their AD carry, so they're in a really great position right now.
Yeah, and Round of Ages has been completed for a while. He's able to trade it out with Westrice and with Bunny Fufu and St. Vicious coming around for the loop round. Even Keen is joining the party. They want to get this dive on a Westrice here. If the Flag and Drag connects from Saint, that is going to be a guaranteed kill. They have to be very careful. There's no ultimate for Keen also on that Hecarim, so they clear out a pink and decide to back away. Well down bot. Maybe Baby and Low Pally being silent but deadly, taking down a tier 1, and that's their second turret of the game.
Curse Academy has not been able to take many turrets, and you look at their team composition, their siege is not that great. They're going to rely on just diving past the turrets with their initiation from Hecarim, from St. Vicious, and then just having the sticking power from Cassin and from Corki to be able to stick out a fight. Their siege is pretty poor, and that's one of the reasons why they're up in gold. But oh wow, okay, so 19 out of 27 maybe.
All right, so we're having fun with that, but like you said, it's gonna be interesting to see how they can try to pull this into the together. Excuse me. I love the initiation though from Curse Academy. They've been on point with their picks. Their picks and bans have been really good, and this Zed counter from the Hecarim seems to be really legit.
Yeah, it is definitely legit. You have to be very well versed on Hecarim to be able to play him effectively in that matchup. You have to know the matchup inside and out. That's one of the reasons why Keen is one of the only players to break out in the mid lane, at least. But yeah, this is one of the reasons why St. Vicious defaults to that Jarvan over champions, say like Lee Sin or Kha'Zix or stuff like that, because Jarvan is one of those champions where you can just say, there's an engagement, I'm taking it. You really don't have to be super creative. You really can just brute force engagements, and that's exactly St. Vicious' style. That's how he likes to operate from the jungle, so definitely fits into what St. Vicious is trying to do and what Curse Academy is trying to do in general.
Yeah, they're playing it to great effect, man. Cataclysm with that charge coming from Keen and the ultimate on top of it, just man, that's such good synergy. It's almost as good as a Gnar Jarvan as well. You just Gnar him into the cataclysmic walls.
There's a reason why Cop he's only died once this game. I think he only died one or zero times last game. They're just drawing so much attention. Hauntzer's drawing so much attention on the cast, and St. Vicious and Keen drawing so much attention. He hasn't picked up any kills this game, but he's been doing so much work in these team fights to get these guys low enough for his teammates to be able to come in and steal those kills.
Oh, binding misses, and we see Keen picking up a Glacial Shroud right now. Does he go for a Frozen Heart for the extra CDR?
Yeah,
or
it's got to be Frozen Heart, yeah.
Okay, so no Iceborne, no Frosty Mittens for him, unfortunately. Charge comes in, Binding connects, and that's going to be a sign for them to charge. Kez right on back in. He does get the war jump to stay alive. They chase him down with the charge, though. He's forced to flash back out, and man, Keen is putting on so much pressure.
Look at that. He ultimated into 4 people by himself, and CompLexity White just said, nope, we don't want anything to do with that. They backed off. I think Keen realized after that maybe I went a little too far, but still, at this point, Curse Academy once again has control over the map, control over the game, and it's going to be on them to really make mistakes, and CompLexity White's in a position where they have to wait for that to happen and then capitalize on it, because once again, they're in a position where they just don't have the hard engage to be able to make an aggressive play.
I like this comp a little bit more though from CompLexity White, but they're not playing it to a really good effect.
Yeah,
it's a little unfortunate. It's the hard truth, but now they're just getting kind of pushed out. They're gonna lose all 3 tier 1s, and that's in a big sequence. You know, they got the push in mid and then top. Cop though, he's gotta be careful. Maybe gonna stop his back for a bit. Gotta be careful himself though if he gets poked out.
Well, we talked about it a little bit last week. What CompLexity White likes to do is they like to get Golden Glue going in the match and then have him split push.
Keen. He doesn't have the ultimate for safety. He knows something's fishy. He sniffed it out.
Yeah, so he's going to back off. But they like to go for Golden Glue. You can see him split pushing. But this is another reason why Hecarim's such a great pick against the Zed, because he moves across the map so quickly. And he's actually really great in a 1v1 situation against Zed, especially once he gets armor. Got that Glacial Shroud now, going for that Frozen Heart. Once he gets that, there's absolutely no hope for Golden Glue to be able to solo him out. He has the Brutalizer now, but not even anywhere close to the last Whisper, because he hasn't even finished that Blade of the Ruin King. So you can see the gold totals right now. And Keen is 2,000 gold ahead of Golden Glue in that mid lane matchup. That's a huge deal.
That is a very big deal. That's going to be getting him very close to his Frozen Heart. Westrice, he's going to turn around into Haunter here, who does Rift Locked away. He does get... No, he doesn't get slowed up by the smoke screen, but they'll still chase him down. Riftwalk comes on out, and Haunter's able to stay alive.
Hecarim just backed, and we missed it.
Oh, no.
Oh.
JD Woo, what are you doing?
Well.
That's okay.
Oh, well.
It's okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, this game's still starting to stagnate just a little bit. Curse Academy is it seems like both teams are playing reactively to each other. Curse Academy is being proactive in how they get vision, but they haven't pulled the trigger in a long time. They did around that dragon fight, but since then they've just sort of been controlling the vision and slowly starting to choke Complexity White out. And that actually is really effective against this team comp that Complexity White has. I mentioned that split push is sort of a necessary thing for Complexity White to be able to have a chance in this game. And Golden Glue just has no shot to do that right now with a Hecarim in this matchup. So you really got to hand it to Keen for having that pocket pick available.
They're starting this dragon too. That's going to force a teleport to come out from Westerice, who is going to get bound out as soon as he comes on in here. So they drop Ward.
Kez look for the steal.
Can he get it over? He drops the Ward. He got the smite steal. And will they turn this into a fight though? He kicks and will he flash out? It's the question. He doesn't have his flash, so he's stuck in there with Cop. The Rage Cage coming on in. They give him the shield to keep him alive. Can he safeguard away? No. The cooldown just too long. And meanwhile, Keen coming in from the back. The Death Mark comes in over from Golden Glue. Trying to take down Cop, but he cannot do it. And Bunny Fufu kills him. Coming on in is going to be the charge from Keen though. They trap nobody in the cage. They keep Westerice out of the fight though. Maybe turns around. He's going to be able to pick up a double. Not able for the triple. Haunter goes in. Force balls. Rift walk. Auto attack. He gets exhausted, but it's not enough. Low Pally now. The last man standing. He's going to get pulsed in on top of. The binding does not connect, and that's going to be a straight up 2 for 4 and a dragon over to Complexity White, but the kills in favor of Curse Academy.
And Hanso is going to get a little consolation prize here. Going to teleport back to that top lane, get some CS. But Curse Academy, they're really not blowing out these fights. That looked really great from them at the beginning. But Maybe Baby was able to pick up a couple kills in the back, and he's sort of sneaking into this game, Egad. He's 7-3-3. He's got 7 kills under his belt. He's got the most kills out of any single player in this game. So you really can't count him out yet, because Graves is one of those champions that can really just sneak up on you. And once he gets that last whisper, once he gets like 4 items, he can really hurt, even in the late game. A lot of people will say, oh, Graves doesn't really scale that well into the late game, but he does. And since he's getting those tanky stats and the shield from Janna, he should be able to have quite a bit of longevity in these team fights. And that's something that Curse Academy really has to be wary of as this game moves forward. But right now, I think they're pretty comfortable with their position in this match.
And with the Frozen Heart done on Keen too, I think Maybe Baby's going to have to watch out. If he gets charged in on, then he's going to be suffering quite a bit from that attack speed loss.
Yep. Keen just still farming it up. 200 CS now. He's a little bit behind that sort of benchmark that you'd like to be at, but his farm has definitely been fantastic this game, especially in the laning phase. Really a high-impact player he's been so far for Curse Academy.
Whoa, nice juke away from Westerice, but there's the Frost Queen Clam on top of it. He drops a good equalizer there onto 3, but he gets blown up. Cop finishes him off.
What a great equalizer, but so poorly timed just because there was nobody there to be able to save him. So it was in vain, and that's one of the best equalizers I've seen from Westerice so far in the series.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
Keen's toying with him a bit. He's showing that he's not too afraid to jump in.
He's bold, but he ain't that bold.
Don't want to have to take him out of the race just yet.
Yep. Oh, he's going to back soon. I'm really excited for that.
It's the highlight of the game, seeing Hecarim charging with Home Guard, but
yeah,
there's a much bigger picture to look at in this game.
Yeah.
So it's a rough 6,000 gold lead for the side of Curse Academy, and they keep pressure mounting. They haven't found any tier 2s yet, which is rather surprising. They haven't been committed to just one full push just yet.
This is still a relatively close game, and this can still go either way. It's looking really rough for Complexity White. They're sort of trapped into the same spot that they were last game, where they went with a team comp that's pretty solid, and that's good on paper, not factoring into what the enemy team can react to do. And that right now they're just stuck in a hole where they're trying to get Golden Glue back in the game, but he's not able to go past the halfway point of these lanes just for the fear that Keen's going to come down and be able to push him out.
They found Haunter. They're going to slow him up with those harpoons, but he's doing so much damage to Kez. A binding to assist from the side. He'll just rift walk away and just get right on out of there. And Low Pally, he picked up a Medjai's. I'm not too sure about his position to pick that up. It doesn't seem like he's going to get too much use out of it.
Yeah, last game it was a pretty good pickup, but when you're 0-3-5 and your team is down and you're having trouble finding engagements, maybe Jazz is not the best item to go for. Still, though, you can really ramp it up and it can get gold efficient very, very quickly. So he's playing the risky game, man. That's what you got to do sometimes in these best of threes where you're down. You got to make that risky play that'll sometimes pay off.
Baron, risky, Saint. Smite? Not going to go for it, but they just keep the control going, and they're going to look for a wraparound here. Can they fight Maybe Baby? The binding? No, he's just going to quick draw away, and Again, another engagement. Stop. What? No. Counter comes in from
Oh,
West.
wow.
The equalizer was huge there. A bunch of damage comes in from Kez. The Deathmark on top of it, and the Monster's going to disengage everybody for a little bit. Keen does not have the ultimate. He did use it to start this one off. Maybe does take down Saint. He's kiting as hard as possible. Comp finally going to go in. Phosphorus bomb for the double kill. Now looking for West Rice, and that's going to be a quick charge in with that Sheen proc. Keen picks up the kill. Golden Glue's looking for something. There's no ward in that brush to spot him out. The Shurikens are going to stop for a bit. He won't commit to going all in. And that's going to be a quick 3 for 1, and that was CompLexity White starting that fight.
Yeah, CompLexity White just seems to have poor focus in these team fights, and maybe even poor communication, because Mabry Baby is sort of the catalyst of their team right now. He's got 8 kills. He's at that 3-item breakpoint that AD carries love, but they're just leaving him alone in these fights to fend for himself. They're going too far in the back line for these kills. They're focusing Keen. They're going all over the place to try and get Keen down, when if they just sit back and make sure that they revolve around Mabry Baby, he can really do some work in these fights. But it seems, you look at the end of these team fights, and CompLexity White members are just dying in all different positions. You saw West Rice die over close to the mid lane, and then you saw Kez die over close to the blue buff, so they look a little bit discombobulated.
Oh, Keen, this is a poor Janna. The Magi so he failed the flash to the wall. He's gonna go down. Keen picks up the kill, but there's some backup coming in. Golden Glue drops the Deathmark, but a retreat comes out from Hecarim. There's the Zion's Hourglass, keeping Halter alive for a little bit. Riftwalk to get the safety with the flash on top of it. He's able to get away.
Oh,
the Equalizer is gonna take him down with the help of the Rileys, but a 2-man hit coming in from the Frost Queen's claim. Is the follow-up gonna be enough, though, from Saint? He has the Cataclysm available, but not gonna go for the Flag and Drag, and maybe, just maybe, they'll finally go for a tier 2 push.
Yeah, that's not the best fight for either team, really, but Curse Academy is going to come out on top. When you trade 1 for 1 like that when you're ahead, it usually leads to good things, especially when you're taking out those high-impact champions. They used a lot to take Low Pally out, and it almost cost them, but they were still able to salvage what they could in that fight, only trade 1 for 1, and now they're picking up a 2nd-tier turret, a dragon as well, and I'm just having trouble. I'm struggling to find a way that CompLexity White's going to be able to come back in this. They've tried a couple things. They've tried counter engagements. They've tried finding engagements of their own and choke points with that equalizer, but they're just having so much trouble making things happen.
And speaking of making things happen, wards have cleared out by Baron, and CompLexity White, they're trying to get some kind of control around this area, but their items just won't allow them to do it. It's going to be way too hard to contest any of those wards around Baron now, and they might try to go into Hansu here. Deathmark is available. He drops the sweeper.
No.
He's going to get initiated on a bunch of burst damage coming through. Kick, Deathmark, everything, and he is gone.
That's a great pick, and that's one of the ways that you can come back, is make sure you control as much vision as you can and set up some picks. And they get a pick right there, and a turret.
All right, so not too bad exchange. They're still down by about 8,000 gold, so we'll see the counter push come out here from Curse Academy as they want to threaten an inhibitor.
Yeah, and they're going to win a base race pretty much no matter what, so CompLexity White has to get back here and try and defend this, but they were a little out of position, and they give up that inhibitor turret for free. Definitely not something that they want to do at this point. Oh my goodness.
That must have been a crit, and the Bloodthirster on top of it, so huge. And now they ping out. They're going to get control back here over the Baron Pit, and maybe just try to threaten it.
Yeah, this is Curse Academy's game to throw right now. And you can tell that they're still playing really cautiously around that Baron Pit. And I said it earlier, they were doing the same thing around Dragon. It's really smart play. They know that their team is just going to suffocate CompLexity White's team comp. Mainly because Golden Glue can't push, mainly because they have trouble finding ways to initiate. So what Curse Academy is really just trying to do is make sure they play it safe, get what they can, but not make too many risky plays because they have absolutely no need to.
So the need is in dire need to make a play is in the side of CompLexity White. Koff is off to the side too. Look at that. He's showing no fear right now, just throwing out those missiles, keeping the pressure on. He doesn't even care about his position right now. Like they can't guarantee a kill on him. Look at that. Just keeps the harass going. He's got that Bloodthirster shield too, and this Baron is going to be huge as well. I don't think any team wants to really start this until they've found a good scrappy engagement where they come out ahead.
Yeah. CompLexity White, they're positioning aggressively. They're just trying to make sure Curse Academy knows that Hey, we're still here. We can still fight. So don't try and do anything. Don't try and do anything fishy here. But at the same time, Complexity or Curse Academy is just controlling this map so much, and it's just so hard for them to take down any individual player. You saw Hanser up, who's not that tanky. Oh, this is the same thing they did last time. They're spotted out, though.
Oh, that was a good scry orb. Okay, so spots him out, gives him some vision, and stops the Baron, but a binding to connect. Low Pally can't be initiated on just yet. Foxer's looking for something, but Keen's in the back.
Whoa,
he gets exhausted. He's going to do a bunch of damage to Low Pally, though. He's got to be careful. He's going to get collateral damage. He goes in. He's going to be able to help pick up 2 kills as they go back in. Deathmark is applied to St. Vicious. Kess is stuck in the Cataclysm. He will fall, but the pop comes on in, and that's just going to be another ace to come out. Golden Glue maybe going to be able to do this. He gets exhausted. They saved him. Binding connects. Foster's bomb. Cop unstoppable. Ace. Oh, man.
Wow. So an ace comes out, and with this open inhibitor, Curse Academy is going to be able to push into this one pretty hard. They actually have a medium wave here. They might be able to finish this. Cop is still up. He has that Trinity Force to be able to tear through these turrets. There's still 14 seconds left before Kez is even up. I think this is going to be game.
They might be able to do this. This Trinity Force damage with that Sheen is going to be able to pick this off, and only Jen is alive. Kez is coming back up, but he has no kick. He can't guarantee any of the kills, and it looks like they're just going to be able to get this Nexus down after one great team fight. Curse Academy do it. They take down Complexity White in 2 games, and who would have guessed both Complexities are out?
Falling 2-0 and in pretty convincing victories for their opponents, actually. That was an impressive showing by Curse Academy, and Complexity White, it seemed like they came in with a plan, but it seemed like Curse Academy was ready for whatever they were going to throw at him and countered it with the perfect pick. You really got to hand it to Keen for breaking out, having the confidence to bring out the Hecarim once again in competitive play to counter that Zed, and it worked so well against Golden Glue.
Yeah. The Challenger scene, it used to be about here on the spectrum of competition, but now it's kind of like up here. It's like 2 LCS spots opened up. These teams are thirsty. Like, they're going at it. Final 5. We can actually go to the brackets here.
Yeah,
so Group
take a look.
A, we had Final 5 take down Complexity Black in a 2-0.
Yeah, big
Nobody
2-0.
would have ever guessed that.
Yeah, and over to Group B, we can see that the game we just saw, Curse Academy takes out Complexity White in a 2-0 as well, and smashes both Complexity teams' chances of making into the LCS. And then now we have 2 teams that are going on, and of course.
Yep, Group C coming up tomorrow, starting at 1 p.m. PST as well. It's going to be Team Coast Gaming taking on Team Low Pro, another hype match, and then Group D.
Yeah, Group D, Team Fusion. One of the fan favorites, I would say, taking on Enemy Esports, another big fan favorite. McNoon versus the Cat God up in the top lane. I think that's probably going to be one of the bigger matchups to watch.
Indeed, and both those guys big figures for their team, as they're the outspoken members up top. So we'll see what they can do. That's going to be it for us today here at the studio in Burbank for the League of Legends Challenger Championship Series, for the expansion tournament. I'm Egan. Joining me here was Asmo Cutie, and we're going to sign off for now. Thanks for watching, and come back tomorrow at 1 p.m. PST, and we'll see you then.